Hey everyone, in today's Adobe Premiere video, I want to show you how to stop Adobe Premiere from crashing. And I've been using it for 10 years, and every few times that it would crash, I will do some research, take some notes, refer back to those notes. So I've compiled a very complete list of different things, and I'll kind of walk you through step by step on how to apply each one. And then you could go through the list and hopefully one of those should solve your problem. And I have all of them in the description below this video with timestamps so you could jump in and rewatch anything specific that solved your problem a previous time. Let's get started with the first one, and that's clearing media cache, both using Premiere Pro and clearing media cache manually. Two different things. So let me show you both of those right now. Inside of Premiere Pro, all you have to do is go to Preferences. On a Mac, it's under this window, Premiere Pro Preferences. On PC, it's under the Edit window. So go to Preferences and go down here, just click General here on top. And then on the left side here, we're gonna click on Media Cache. That should be here on Mac and PC. And the very first thing we wanna do here is we're gonna remove the media cache right here using our preferences. So press delete here. And then say delete unused media cache and press OK. This is not gonna cause any problems for you. And media cache will be recreated automatically whenever source media requires them. So don't worry, this is gonna actually happen again and recreate media. This is just deleting the existing one. So if there's any issues with those causing you to crash, that will get resolved right here. Now, typically at this point, I do restart Premiere Pro, but let me show you the next option with media cache. And that is automatically deleting media cache after a certain period of time. So you could just let this clear media cache after 30 days or so, or even less than that, so they don't really build up automatically here over time. And I'll press OK. And let me go back to that window. I want to show you one more thing here, which is you could delete your media cache manually. All your media cache will be in this database right here. This is going to tell you the location. On Mac and PC, it's going to tell you exactly where it's at. All you have to do is go find this folder on your computer. On my Mac, it's gonna be on my library folder here. So I'll go to library. It's inside of application support, and then it's inside of Adobe, and then common. It's in a similar place on a PC. So just follow this path here using your folder structure, and then you'll see media cache over here. And if there's any media cache here, you could go ahead and delete these. Again, these get rebuilt when you relaunch Premiere. But to make sure you do this correctly, go ahead and save your project here and then quit Premiere Pro. I'll go ahead and quit it. So I could actually delete all media cache here without any issues. I'll select all of them and I'll press Command or Control Delete and it will delete everything. I'll do this to the media cache files folder too. I'll select everything and delete it all. And I just reopened Premiere here, and you can see down here it's actually rebuilding some of the things it needs to rebuild here. So I'll just let this process finish based on this project, but that did clear my media cache. The next option is changing your playback from GPU to software only. Now this does solve a lot of crashing issues, but it does also slow your computer down on your Premiere down a good amount. Now this is really up to you if you want to try it. In my experience, when I tried it, it did solve my problem, and it was faster dealing with a slower Premiere than dealing with Adobe crashing, and then I'll have to restart Premiere and then make a copy and all the things that go along with the program crashing. So this one you should try out and see if it solves your problem, and then gauge based on your computer how slow Premiere gets and if it's worth it. So for this option, go to File and go to Project Settings, and just click on General right here. And this is the render right here. And by default, it's set to the GPU acceleration. I could change this to software only. And sometimes this will ask you to rebuild your preview. You could go ahead and agree to that. And now you're based on software, and this may solve your crashing issues. Next is resetting Premiere's preferences when you open up Premiere. So when you launch Premiere, as long as you hold Option or Alt on PC, Option or Alt, and Shift at the same time, click Launch on Premiere, it will open up Premiere and it will take you to the welcome screen, and your previous projects won't be there. This will reset your preferences, and it happens to solve a lot of crashing related issues. Now, you can save your previous preferences on your Premiere On the cloud, Adobe actually has a little icon that lets you sync this to the cloud so you don't lose it. It's not going to be stored on your computer, but this is how you would reset preferences. And a lot of times this has solved my problems over the years. The next option is updating the Premiere to the latest version of Premiere. I've even used the beta version of Premiere, the next year's version of Premiere, and it solved my problem. Because a lot of times when they get those crash reports, you know, when you get a crash report window and people actually fill it out, they do solve those. I know sometimes it feels like they don't, but they do solve those most of the time. And then the latest version, the latest update will solve that problem. So when you update to the latest version using the Adobe Creative Cloud application, it may solve your problems. And the next option is related to that, is actually reverting back, because sometimes it is the latest version of Premiere that's causing the problems, but you could literally install previous versions, and multiple different previous versions are usually available to you. You would also do this in the Adobe Creative Cloud applications, choose other versions, and then install one of those and use one of those and see if that solves your problem. Next, try to close all other applications except Adobe Premiere Pro. Don't try to work between Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects and Photoshop. Just have one application open, especially if your computer doesn't have enough CPU or RAM to handle a lot going on your computer. So I definitely recommend that, because that does tend to cause issues. Sometimes it's not just crashing issues, but just performance issues with Premiere. The next one is allocating more memory to Adobe Premiere Pro. There's an option in the settings that lets you tell Premiere and other Adobe products how much memory they should use and how much they should leave for your system. So I recommend giving Adobe as much as you want here, in fact, as much as you can, to let it really perform at the best level it can. And then the next option is also related to that, just buying more memory. Memory is relatively cheap. I've maxed out every computer I own because it just increases your performance a whole bunch. It's the best way you could spend money to save yourself more time and more headache, and it increases the performance of all your softwares on your computer. If you can, work on a solid state drive or a flash drive. Now, these Macs come with SSD drives. This one has a 1 terabyte flash drive built in. And I try to edit off that, or if I buy external hard drives, I try to buy SSD drives, because that will just help with performance. And a lot of times it just gets rid of that lag of Premiere accessing media on a spinning hard drive. The old school hard drives that are not SSD, even though they're much cheaper, tend to slow things down. So I try to get SSD, and I try to always work with the fastest connection. So if USB-C is the fastest connection, or Thunderbolt 4 is the fastest connection on your computer, make sure you get a hard drive. I know it's a little bit more money, but it's really worth it. It will save Premiere from crashing, and it will speed it up. The next one is hard drive related too, and I notice this all the time. I just had this problem yesterday, but if you're working on an internal or external hard drive, and the hard drive only has 2 gigs or 3 gigs of space left, it will cause major problems with Premiere. So I tend to really never let my hard drive get to near full when I'm using Premiere to access media on that hard drive. Now, I have a different video if your internal hard drive is full on how to really free things up, especially on a Mac. I do a lot of research on that, and I typically use Macs to edit my videos on Premiere. So I'll link that in the description below if your internal hard drive is filled up. But again, make sure you buy another external hard drive if you're working off of that, and make sure it doesn't get near full. Next is inside of Premiere, make sure you don't have a ton of different project files open inside of Premiere at the same time. Close all the existing projects and just work on one. That will really improve the speed and performance. And if there's issues with Premiere crashing based on other sequences, it will get rid of that because they won't be open at the time you're editing the main sequence. Now, this is depending on the type of project you're working on. But a lot of times the effect that you put on your video could cause Premiere to crash, especially beefy effects like warp stabilizer is a big culprit in crashing Premiere. So the way you could get around it is, even if you have that applied, you could nest the clip, and when you nest a clip with a effect on it, it makes another sequence with that effect and that clip, and it leaves the nested one on your current edit. That does solve a lot of problems, especially with multiple different effects on the same clip. If you're getting issues on exporting your video, it may give you the time code of when the problem is taking place, so you could go there and remove the effect from that one clip. And if you're working with different types of footage, for example, this very project that I'm working on right now, I'm working with video footage shot at 24 frames, then I'm using screen recording at 60 frames, and a variety of different things like these titles at 30 frames. And there's an easy way to fix that because this does cause crashes quite a bit when you work with multiple different frame rates and frame sizes. Just select your footage here and then go ahead and right click on it and then nest that sequence. So this is same as nesting your effects, but you're gonna nest the different type of files. So then this is matching my sequence preset, but these shots are not. So I'm gonna nest this within the same sequence and that will solve my problem there. Now this one has saved me quite a bit, and that's when a sequence is having a problem, copying all the content in that sequence, creating an identical sequence to the sequence I'm working on, and then pasting all my stuff onto that sequence. As long as the effects are not causing the crash, its sequence related crashes are going to be solved this way. The other option is just open an entire new project with the same sequence settings here, and then bring all your footage into that and all your edited sequences into the new project. If the project itself is corrupt, a new project may solve this issue as well. And those are all the ways I found over the years of solving Adobe Premiere from crashing, and I hope one of them is useful to you. If you know any other ones, and if you come across other ones through your research, please leave it in the comment section below so other people could benefit from things I did not cover in this video. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.